Hello, beautiful babies. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about the quadrilateral family. And on your Fan 5 this week, here's a copy of your Fan 5. You are going to need this quadrilateral family drawing we're about to do to answer question 4 on all 4 days of Fan 5. So you need to get this down before you can start your Fan 5 this week. All right. So I'm going to be telling you the story of the quadrilateral family, and we all need to thank Miss Cahoon for this idea because she came up with this idea about teaching kids about the quadrilateral family using actual people, and it's genius, and it helps kids to remember the quadrilateral family. So here we go. So the first thing that you need to know about the quadrilateral family is that every member of the family has 4 sides. So let's write that down. Every single person in the family has 4 sides. Okay, now they all look different, but they all have 4 sides. Okay, so the first thing that you need to know about the quadrilateral family is that there's 4 sides, and there's 2 brothers in the quadrilateral family. Okay. There is a guy named Graham, and then there is another brother named Trapezoid, all right? Now, Graham's full name is Parallelogram, so let's write that down over here. His full name is Parallelogram, but everybody calls him Graham, all right? And his brother is Trapezoid. His full name is Trapezoid, but everybody calls him Trapezoid, okay? Or Trapeze, all right? So there's Graham and Trapezoid, all right? And since they are both part of the quadrilateral family, both of them have 4 sides, but they look different, okay? So Trapezoid has 4 sides, but he's only got 1 pair of parallel sides. So write 1 pair of parallel sides. Okay, so sometimes Trapezoid looks like this. Okay, so he's still got 4 sides, but only this side, get my highlighter, only this side and this side are parallel. So they'll run side by side forever, but never touch, okay? So sometimes he looks like this. He's got 1 pair of parallel sides. Now, sometimes kids get really stuck on trapezoids looking like this because that's how you've learned it since kindergarten, right? That's a trapezoid. But also, a trapezoid can look like this. It can have a right angle in it. Okay, this trapezoid has 2 right angles, okay? Now, the only rule for a trapezoid is that it has to have 1 pair of parallel sides. So in this, the top and the bottom are parallel, which makes it a trapezoid, but it can look like this or it can look like this, okay? So still a quadrilateral because it's got 1, 2, 3, 4 sides, 1, 2, 3, 4 sides, but sometimes Uncle Trapezoid looks like this, and sometimes Uncle Trapezoid looks like this, okay? But the rule is always the same, 1 pair of parallel sides, all right? Now, Uncle Trapezoid over here, Uncle Trapezoid, he never has kids. He never gets married. There's nobody underneath him on his family tree. It's just him, okay? But even though it's him and he never gets married and he never has kids, he's still a part of the quadrilateral family, okay? Now, let's talk about old Graham over here. Graham, the rule if you are a parallelogram is that you have to have 2 pairs of parallel sides. Parallel sides. Okay? Also, if you are going to be a parallelogram, your opposite sides have to be equal. Okay, so that is the only rule if you are going to be a parallelogram, okay? Now, I'm not going to draw you a picture of what parallelogram looks like, except for to show you that sometimes he can look like this. He can have these really long, now sometimes he looks like this, but this is not all the time, okay? Has two short sides, two long sides, okay? But this side and this side are equal because they're opposite, and this side and this side are equal because they're opposite. He also has two pairs of parallel sides. So this side and this side are parallel. They run side by side forever and never touch. And this side are parallel. They run side by side forever and never touch, okay? So those are the two rules if you're going to be in the parallelogram family, okay? But parallelogram is also quadrilateral because all you got to do to be in the quadrilateral family is have four sides. Okay, so you've got trapezium and parallelogram. They're both quadrilaterals. Okay, all right. Now, parallelogram has two kids, and he has two kids at the same time. So, in the grand tradition of having twins, people like to give twins the same letter for their first name. Okay, so he has two kids. One is named Rhombus, and one is named Rectangle, okay? And they are fraternal twins, meaning that they're still twins, but they're not exactly the same, okay? But because they're part of the parallelogram family and the quadrilateral family, they're gonna have four sides, their opposite sides are equal, and they're gonna have two pairs of parallel sides. But they're gonna look different because, like I said, they are fraternal twins. Okay, so the rules for being a rhombus is that he has four equal sides. That's it. That's all you got to do to be a rhombus. So here's a picture of how it can look. This side, and this side, and this side, and this side are all equal. So this side, and this side, and this side, and this side are all equal. Okay, but because he's part of the parallelogram family, he has to have two pairs of parallel sides. So that means this side and this side are parallel, and this side and this side are parallel. All right. He also has to have his opposite sides are equal. Well, that's easy to do because if he's got four equal sides, then his opposite sides are definitely equal. And then he's part of the quadrilateral family, so he still has four sides. All right. Now let's go over to his brother, Rectangle. Rectangle, the only rule to be a rectangle, the only additional rule, is you have to have four right angles. Okay, so this is how he looks. He's got two short sides, and he's got two long sides, just like this. And this side are equal, and this side are equal. That makes him part of the parallel family because both his opposite sides are equal. Now, let's see if he's part of he also has to get two pairs of parallel sides. So the top and the bottom are parallel, and the two sides are parallel, okay? But I told you he's also got to have four right angles. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so they're brothers, rhombus and rectangle. They're twin brothers, but they are fraternal. Now, both of them are part of the parallelogram family because both of them have two pairs of parallel sides, here and here. Both of them have opposite sides are equal, but they have one thing that makes them different. Rhombus has four equal sides, and rectangle has four right angles. Okay, so now these two decide that they want to get a dog, right? And both of them want their dog to be very similar to them. And so they are arguing about, rhombus is saying, well, I want it to have four equal sides. And rectangle saying, I want our dog to have four right angles. And they go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. But in the end, they decide to get a dog that has both of those attributes. So they decide to get a dog that has four right angles And this dog also has 4 equal sides. And I bet you know what they named it. They decide to call it square. Because square looks like this. This is their little dog. Square has, I wish I could draw a square better. He has 1, 2, 3, 4 equal sides. He has 4 right angles. So this side and this side and this side and this side are equal. And 1, 2, 3, 4 right angles. Okay? But you also have to remember that he's also a rhombus because he has 4 equal sides. So that makes him rhombus. He is also a rectangle because he has 4 right angles. Also is part of the parallelogram family because he's got this side and this side are parallel, and this side and this side are parallel. Also, he's part of the parallelogram family because his opposite sides are equal. This side and this side are equal, and this side and this side are equal. And he's also zooming out yet again. Ms. Ross, this is so hard. Okay, he also is part of the quadrilateral family because he has 1, 2, 3, 4 sides. Okay, so to sum up, draw an arrow over here. If you are asked these questions, it is always, the shape is always the things that are above it. If it's connected by a line, by the things above it, it is always those things. So a square is always a rhombus. A square is always a rectangle. A square is always a parallelogram, and a square is always a quadrilateral, okay? A trapezoid is always a quadrilateral. A rhombus is always a parallelogram and a quadrilateral. So it's all, the shapes are always the things that are above. Now, they are only sometimes the things that are below. So draw an arrow going down and write sometimes. They are sometimes the things that are below. So sometimes a parallelogram is a rectangle, but sometimes it's a rhombus, and sometimes it's a square, okay? So they are sometimes the things that are below them, okay? And then the last thing that you need to know is that if they are not connected by a line, they are never that thing. So a square is not connected by a line to the trapezoid. A square is never a trapezoid. A rectangle is never a trapezoid. A rhombus is never a trapezoid, okay? If it is not connected by a line, it is never that thing, all right? Make sure that you have all of the quadrilateral hierarchy put down. Make sure you've got the opposite sides highlighted, that you've got the definitions on here. You will need this all week. So remember, square, rectangle, rhombus, trapezoid, parallelogram, they are all part of the quadrilateral family because they've all got 4 sides, okay? Trapezoid has only got 1 pair of parallel sides, and he never had any other children. So it's just him over here with 1 pair of parallel sides. Now, on the parallelogram, all of Graham's family has 2 pairs of parallel sides, and their opposite sides are equal. So parallelogram, rhombus, rectangle, and square are all parallelograms. Rhombus and rectangle are all parallelograms. So is a square. And a square is equal parts of a rhombus and a rectangle. All right. Love you guys. Bye. I hope I didn't confuse you too much. Bye.